Entertalk Radio, you're in to all things music.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey everybody, it is Friday. You are so smart because you are tuned into May the Best Brand Win right here on Entertalk Media, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. And I am Scott, your host, and a man who thinks that Hobbs and Shaw in the same movie might just be a little bit too much testosterone. But then again, you know, I am a fan of things that blow up, and I hear that that movie has some good explosions. So I say bring it on, honestly. But Hobbs and Shaw, same movie? I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. With me in the studio is my own personal Garth, Paul B. How's it going, Paul?
Showing.
How's life treating you these days? How are things at Entertalk?
Pretty good. Staying busy. Spending a lot of time in LA lately doing video shoots. We did one with a really cool like prog jazz band this week.
Cool.
Called the Odd Dogs. So keep an eye out for that. Super cool. Brainy, nerdy, really high tightrope walking kind of like fusiony stuff. Super cool.
Very cool. And when you were in LA, did you manage to did you dodge the rats and the typhus and all the plagues, the seven horsemen
that depends
destroying
on
Los Angeles?
That depends on the incubation period. I'm okay so far, but
no typhus that you know of.
No typhus.
Did you see
know.
a larger than normal percentage of rats?
Not this time. I think I spotted a rat. I think like a week or two ago when we were there. I think I did spot a rat. I don't spend enough time there to know what the baseline for rat infestation should be. So hard for me to tell.
Baseline of rats that you want to see. Yeah, I just hear you know I don't spend much time in LA these days either, but I hear that they're having quite a big rat problem in the city.
Like recently, that's getting worse.
Yeah.
What does that do to?
I think it's due to the tent cities and all the homeless people,
right?
And all of them, you know, living out in the open, and you know, just that.
That does not sound
rats.
good. That does sound like some end of days type. Not good.
You can see Mel Gibson driving up in a car, and it's like a Mad Max scenario in downtown LA pretty soon.
Yeah,
pretty wild.
I think he's got a nice crazy man beard at this point.
Nice.
It'll take his ranting and raving to the next level.
I could see it. You know, all of our major cities except San Diego. You know, so San Francisco is a literal toilet with people taking dumps in the street. You know, you got LA with rats and homeless and all kinds of problems. But San Diego, still pretty clean, still pretty good.
Pretty clean. San Diego smells like pee a lot of places. Like if
San
you go
Diego smells like pee.
Downtown, pretty much all of downtown smells like pee. Like beer pee.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. And you know why that is? Because people are peeing.
Yeah, but it's looking relatively clean still. Yeah, like compared to some places in LA that you drive through where it just looks grungy and dirty. Yeah, LA is still looking pretty good.
Looking pretty good.
Not LA, sorry. San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego. So this segment's brought to you by the San Diego Convention and Visitors Bureau, who remind you that San Diego only smells like pee and doesn't have rats and people taking dumps in the street.
We keep our rat infestation at baseline levels since 1996.
We're at the baseline of rats. All right, let's keep moving. So who am I? What do you listen to? What am I doing? Okay. I run a public relations and marketing firm called Robertson Communications, which for short is Robertson Com. How do you reach me? Scott at robertsoncom2ms.com or on Twitter at robertsoncom, 2ms, facebook.com/robertsoncom2ms. And of course, the website is robertsoncom.com, 2ms. See? It's like a family. It all works together. It's all great. You are smart. You're so smart because you are tuned in to episode 133 of the show, which we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, AI. We're going to talk about, I call this episode Using AI in a World That Only Cares About ME. me. We've talked about the importance of using intelligence in marketing before, and if you don't believe me, then stick around for segment 2 when we go into who's winning and losing, because there ain't any intelligence being applied in some of those cases. We can discuss it. But there are some that think that using artificial intelligence can, quote unquote, improve the customer journey, and other BS-sounding phrases meant to lull companies into a false sense of security for putting their most important assets in the hands of the same exact technology that tried to kill Sarah Connor and end humanity. So I'm going to give you the real truth about the fate that we make in this awesome episode, which I know is going to win a Peabody this time. We were up for it before. I know we're going to win it this time. For May the Best Brand Win here. You tuned into a good one. So what kind of got me going on this topic was I read this article that this person wrote and put it on. It was in Forbes, talking about all the ways that AI can benefit marketing, right? And at first glance, you kind of go, oh, yeah, I can kind of see that. But I'm not a first glance kind of person, because I've been in if you just kind of use the first glance at things, everything kind of sounds good, and then it blows up in your face and you end up fighting Terminators in the street, right? So, metaphorically speaking. So, I disagree with a lot of things that were said in the article, to be quite honest. And I think that when people put that out there and say, oh, this is the truth, then I like to call bullshit on stuff like that a lot and go, that doesn't work in the real world. And I speak on a lot of panels and kind of talk about this, but it seems like everybody's just really willing to, let artificial intelligence just take the steering wheel, Jesus take the wheel sort of thing in marketing. And I think that is a huge, colossal, profession-ending type of event mistake that we need to avoid at all costs. I think that AI could be extraordinarily bad for marketing because of the idiots that will employ it, that will deploy it into the companies. And there's a lot of idiots out there. The world's full of idiots. I don't have a statistic on that, but man, there's some stupid going on out there. And you certainly don't want to have that kind of stuff just let loose to communicate whenever they want to, that kind of thing. So let's talk about AI for a second. A couple of things. So this is an article about how artificial intelligence is transforming digital marketing. It basically talks about improving the customer journey, which to me that's a marketing bullshit phrase that doesn't mean anything, right? Improving the customer's journey and their ass off just fine without you, right? What they're trying to say is, we would love the opportunity to send you more crap at every single point during your buying decision and bludgeon you over the head with it until you either bleed out before you get to the checkout stand, or you potentially just succumb and just go, I submit. I submit to your marketing, and I will buy whatever it is that you want me to buy, kind of thing. That's really what marketing means. Marketing means improve the customer journey means we want to send you more crap more frequently. And to do that, we want to spy on you in a massively invasive and creepy ass way that where we don't get your consent first and we don't tell you what we're doing, and then we serve you up advertising in a creepy way that's going to make you hate the brand forever. Okay? That's the real world of what I'm talking about when I talk about improve the customer journey. Don't ever let somebody come in there and bullshit you about the way that humans behave, because that's exactly what this stuff is. To me, it sounds like they just want to send more stuff. And the problem with marketing isn't that we send enough stuff. It's that we send garbage. Complete garbage. And why do we send garbage? Just while we're talking about it. Because our needs are more important than their needs. Our need to sell outweighs your need to be left alone. Right? We've talked about that a lot on this show. Marketers can't get it through their heads that sometimes just shutting it, and just being quiet for a while and letting the customer kind of come to you is a more effective marketing approach if you want to build long-term relationships. So let's dig in this. So AI and digital marketing. So they're talking about content creation, pay-per-click ads, and even web design that AI could possibly do. Good God. Good God. So they're talking about, so AI can streamline and optimize marketing campaigns. I haven't seen any evidence that that's true, by the way. It can eliminate the risk of human error. Maybe. But sending out more stuff is a huge human error, I would say. So let's talk about content creation and generation first. There are people out there that believe that that an AI engine can write content that's as good as a person writes, and then they can serve it up to you, and you're going to like it or engage with it and somehow buy. Here's the real world on that. Computers don't know how to write like us, right? Not yet. Not yet. I'm a professional writer. Trust me when I tell you, I can write better than any machine on this planet. Believe it. Because I'm a human, and I can do things that they can't do. I can insert humor. I can insert varying emotions. I can break all kinds of rules of writing, for effect. I can do a lot of things that AI doesn't know how to do yet, and probably will never know how to do, because the level that I'm talking about requires human level cognition, and we're not there yet AI wise. So, this person that wrote the article says that AI has the potential to help marketers map an end-to-end content strategy. Yeah, but you have that power too. Don't be lazy. An end-to-end content strategy means you know them, you know your audience, you know what they want, you serve them up what they want, they love you, and the roller coaster and the carousel ride continues and continues and continues. The need for AI in that situation, I just don't see it. I don't see what that is. Now, the author of the article says that artificial intelligence will change the way businesses advertise. Digital advertising. Now, this is where it gets scary. This is where stuff gets scary. And they call it, they're going to put the right kinds of ads in front of the right kinds of people based on complex algorithms and big data. This is what's known as programmatic advertising. What is it also known as, class? What is that also known as? What do you have to have to what do you have to have to serve an ad to somebody that is the quote unquote the right kind of people at the right times? What do you have to have? Invasion, right? You have to know where they are, right? Do you guys want to know? Do you guys want to let a bunch of advertisers know where you are 24/7? Hell no. None of your business. None of your business where I am. And if you ever used it, I'd be creeped out by you, and second of all, I would hate you. I mean, so it's like the creepy factor followed by the hate is not in the same Venn diagram circle as the stuff that we try to do in marketing, which is what? Build relationships, right? That's why the marketing profession is really missing this, So, they're going to do AI-enhanced digital advertising. Yes, you can collect location data on people. Yes, you can serve them ads in the moment, but how do they respond? How do they respond to ads that get in the moment? Is it super creepy? Yes, it is. Should you have that data? No, you shouldn't. And if you shouldn't have it, then don't use it. Again, you're in the long-term relationship business. For the love of God, don't forget that. I've never seen anybody blow relationships bigger than getting privacy wrong. Now, one point the author makes, talks about chatbots. And this one I can see. AI-driven chatbots, because it's not invasive, right? You're on somebody's website, you're on somebody's Facebook page or whatever, and it's answering your questions. They're doing all this. I like chatbots. I think that chatbots could be very, very good. Don't try to sell me. Don't have a chatbot trying to sell me, man. You're there. You should be there to serve, not to sell, right? I think that's a winner. I think the AI chatbots, is a great thing that every brand should be doing it, because, we have questions, and it's probably the same question you get a lot of times. And that way you can make sure the answer is, constant, I guess is a good way to say it. Now, another thing the article talks about is behavior analysis and predictive analytics. Now, I hate to sound like a broken MP3 here, but this crap is invasive. And if you do not have consent from the audience, it is creepy and potentially relationship-killing stuff used incorrectly, okay? I understand the lure of wanting to do this. I understand that. But you got to be a person about this. You got to use that E word. You got to use that empathy. You got to use it. And you know what? AI doesn't have any empathy. It's a cold, unfeeling machine that comes after Sarah Connor and tries to kill her in every movie. You've seen it, right? How much emotion and empathy do you see coming out of Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator movies? Zero, right? And you don't see any in this stuff either. It is a machine. It doesn't have the technical capacity for empathy, but you do. And nobody uses empathy because I get an email a day from Bed Bath & Beyond. And folks, how many towels and sheet sets do you think I need? Do I need an email every day from Bed Bath & Beyond? No. I made the mistake of going to a Bed Bath & Beyond like one time to buy a Rams coffee cup or something I ended up buying. And now I'm on their email list forever. And they send me an email every damn day. Okay? Nobody's thinking there, right? Because now I hate Bed Bath & Beyond. Not only do I want to unsubscribe for you, I hate you. When I see your brand, I hate you. I absolutely hate your brand. This is how this stuff works, folks. This isn't just, how many times can I push somebody until they buy? It's how many times do you push somebody until they push the cancel button on your ass forever? It's how many, times before they break off the relationship with you for the rest of their lives and tell everybody what a creepy, invasive, company you were. Kind of like the Joe Biden of companies. You don't want to be those people. You don't want to be that company. You want to use your human brain and figure this crap out. My final word here is about Jurassic Park logic. I say Jurassic Park because it comes from the movie Jurassic Park, and they say just because you can make dinosaurs doesn't mean you should. This is really important when you're dealing with technology. It can sound really attractive, really fantastic. We should really do this. We should really do this. This is where you use your Jurassic Park logic and go, the dinosaurs will be cute at first. They will be cute, but you will be running your ass off with a shotgun, sweating, trying to load that shotgun while it's coming up behind you and getting ready to spear you with its gigantic claws. Okay? You shouldn't do those things. And we're talking about AI today on The Big Show. You are tuned in to May the Best Brand Win on Entertalk Media. Come on back. We're going to talk about who's not applying that intelligence and winning and losing this week. See ya.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Entertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EntertalkRadio.com.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. This is Scott with May the Best Brand Win on Entertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. You guys are smart because you're back for segment 2, where we're going to talk about who's winning and losing. We got Paul with us in the booth talking AI.
We're sorry. Paul is not available. This is a chatbot.
This is a chatbot.
Pablo.
It's a Paul chatbot.
How may I help you? Would you like help navigating our website?
Click, click, click. Is Paul high right now?
Do you need help with billing?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how high is Paul right now in the studio? He doesn't answer.
I'm sorry. I'm going to transfer you to a representative. Looks like we don't know how to help you.
I'm transferring you to a representative. That's exactly the problem. I do like chatbots. I do want to continue to say that. Let's talk about who's winning and losing. My Lord, my Lord. Never enough time to get to all this. But you know what's an interesting thing that came out this week in Rolling Stone is that Amazon Music is growing 3 times as fast as Spotify. Amazon, first of all, here's a newsflash for you. Amazon has a standalone streaming service, which they rolled out in 2016 and wasn't really taken very seriously because, Amazon, you buy all your stuff there and they deliver it in a day or whatever. But, a standalone music streaming service, really, Amazon, so it's it was kind of a Spotify clone, right? But, it's growing really fast. It's and you need to know that, right? They're doing a lot of things, like doing like a high profile concert about their Prime Day sale with Taylor Swift and Dua Lipa and folks like that. But they have grown. Check this out. So Amazon Music Unlimited, which is what it's called, and then they have a Prime Music offering too. It's grown 70% in the last year. 70%. Right, so Spotify has the most subscribers right now. Although I got to find out where Apple is on that list. By the way, I'm a subscriber to Apple Music. I have been for years. I really like Apple Music. I have a lot of Apple devices in my life, and I can play my music pretty much everywhere. And I think, as I told you guys on the show before, I really like it. The artists get paid, or they're supposed to be getting paid. The idea is, you're paying sort of an aggregator, and then they're splitting up the royalties, with their big data or whatever, and they're making sure that artists are getting paid for their music, or that's supposed to be happening. I'm not a lawyer, man. I just listen to music, so that's what I'm saying. So, but I love Apple Music. I love it. It is. It's everything that I want in a service. Every song that I want, I can just have it. I just have access to it, which is great. I'm putting together like a playlist when the band's on break, and I've got to have like some rap music and country music and all these different genres of music, or whatever. Instead of having to buy those or rip those off YouTube and pirate those in some crazy way, I can just type them into my Apple Music, and it's great. And it's great when I play at church too, because it has a huge selection of modern Christian music, which I can also load up in there. I really can't say enough about that. But I never had considered, and I'm a Prime customer, but never really considered Amazon Music as a streaming service. But boy, you really need to now, because they are kind of just pushing this into all their Prime members and stuff like this, and they're rolling up their Music Unlimited into the Prime, which is 100 million customers in the U.S. alone, by the way. Yeah, and it's only 330-something million people in the United States of America. So that is a third of Americans who have a subscription to Amazon Prime. That's a big freaking deal. And if they made all of those subscribers in some kind of way to Amazon Music, then they have 100 million subscribers, right? So it's pretty wild. Check it out on Rolling Stone if you want to read the rest of the stats on that. But it's kind of interesting. Here's a freaky one. BuzzFeed has this thing called Mood Feed, which recommends content to you based on how you're feeling. So you, as you might imagine, you basically type in or you click an emoji of what your mood is, and then it will. So you identify your mood, and then you get a list of articles that match your feelings. There are 6 options. There are 6 options right now: curious, stress, bored, nostalgic, joyful, or hungry. If you select curious, you'll see a list of BuzzFeed posts about strange facts, life hacks, stuff like this. If you go with nostalgic, you'll get pop culture history. And if you're not sure, you can just kind of give the mood wheel a spin and see what it lands on. Now, see, this is kind of a cool thing and a different way to kind of consume news. But here's one thing you got to know. You got to know how the data is going to be used, right? Because if they sell the data to a bunch of advertisers and a bunch of marketers, then they might, come back at you and say, well, we noticed that on this day you had this mood and this day you had this mood. And again, as we're talking about in this entire episode, yes, you have the ability to get all kinds of data on people. Should you use that data? Hell no. Not just no, but hell no, you shouldn't use that data. You shouldn't, right? Relationship killer. If you're a brand and I figure out you're spying on my mood, I'm going to burn you to the ground. I swear to God. I'm never going to, our relationship is incinerated within seconds. And I'm that kind of person too, man. I will absolutely, if I find out that somebody's, spying on me or doing something creepy like that, they're gone. They're gone from the Rolodex forever. So it's not worth it. It really isn't. But I think it's a neat, as long as they don't sell the data and as long as they, keep it under control, I think it is kind of a neat thing to know that people are experimenting with out there. Oh, my goodness. So here's one. So that's really going to be losing. Robo-texts are the next annoying spam ready to blow up your phone. Are you ready? Regulators and phone carriers are making progress against robocalls, which we've been talking about a lot on this show. By the way, if robocalls are part of your marketing strategy, find the nearest heavy object and smash yourself in the skull with it as hard as you can, as long as you possibly can do it. I'll wait. Go ahead. Okay. If robocalls are part of your marketing strategy, you're awful. You're an awful person, and you deserve pain. You deserve a lot of pain in your life, and I hope it comes to you. I really do. So don't do that ever, 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 under any circumstances. Do robocalls. It's terrible, terrible. God, So, and robo-texts, same kind of thing. Okay, so spammers are still going to send robo-texts. Spam texts make up less than 3% of the total SMS messages sent, according to CTIA, the wireless trade group. But with nearly 1 trillion texts sent by Americans this year, it means the number of unwanted robo-texts is still pretty substantial. So robo-texts can be used by identity thieves to install malware on the victim's phone, all these kind of things. So, we're all going to be losing about this whole thing. Luckily, the carriers are really being empowered to shut a lot of this stuff down at the carrier level, which should be happening. We love that. Verizon, for example, said that its partners have been blocking close to 500 million spam texts each month this year, twice as many as last year. But we're all losing with the robocalls and the robotext still. So let's talk about that. Interesting story in branding. This week, San Francisco decided to rebrand convicted felons as they created some magical marketing language around this. So they're going to change convicted felons to justice-involved persons. They're going to change formerly. What do they say? An offender released from custody will be known as a formerly incarcerated person or a justice-involved person or just a returning I don't understand this one. Returning resident. Returning resident just means like you're a resident somewhere and you're returning. I can see both sides of this, by the way. Language is really, really important. how you refer to things is really, really important. For example, so the Democratic Party doesn't seem to know the difference between illegal immigrant and immigrant, right? There's two kinds of immigrants. There are legal immigrants that come through the process and wait in line and give us your poor, your tired, masses kind of thing, Statue of Liberty sort of thing, legal immigration. And then there's your illegal immigration, which is just, I skipped the fence and now I live in San Diego, kind of thing. So, language is really, really important, right? You can't just say immigrant and then it means that. It's like, it doesn't. It's like you have to use a qualifier with that. And I think that changing this I get both sides of this. Like I said, if somebody's like in jail on a drug charge and they say, look, this person shouldn't have to pay for the rest of their life and that kind of thing, by being called a, convicted felon. And they said, we need to, but to me, changing it wholesale means, you got Hannibal Lecter is now a justice-involved person, or somebody who, enjoys the taste of, people's livers. That kind of thing. And that person is the same as a returning resident or whatever bullshit that was. The next thing that said, returning residents or a justice-involved person makes me think like Superman or like Batman. They're in the Justice League. They're a justice-involved person. I don't know, but it doesn't make me think of, somebody who, committed a crime. I think there's also a huge danger, by the way, when you do stuff like this, when you soften language, when you call illegal aliens undocumented citizens and stuff like that, which is just, I don't know, political or some version of BS and that kind of thing, because the law still refers to as illegal alien and that kind of thing. Language is really, really important. And some people like to change language and soften language for really negative purposes, and that's what I think we have to be careful of, right? They call it rebranding, and they're going to do we really want to rebrand criminals to where they're a returning resident if they committed a violent crime? If they, if they, raped a woman, are they a justice-involved person or are they a scumbag that deserves to spend the rest of their friggin' life in prison? I tend to lean on the scumbag, staying in prison kind of thing. I don't know. And I think that if you commit a crime, and you get convicted of it, you can't do the time, don't do the crime, that kind of thing. That's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. But I don't think it's a good idea to rebrand our terms of justice to make things easier on people who have committed crimes. I don't see that being a good thing for our society long term. Eminem is suing Spotify. Spotify's kind of losing because they're claiming a massive copyright breach, and they're also claiming, let's see, see if I get this right. They're claiming that Spotify's infringed hundreds of song copyrights and is challenging the constitutionality of the recently passed music licensing law, which is helping a lot of musicians actually. But this is pretty interesting. The suit is huge. It's a bunch of money. So it's like, it's like hundreds of millions of dollars of lawsuit. It'll be interesting to see that. You want to read more about that? That's at the Hollywood Reporter and a bunch of different entertainment magazines and outlets. Here's one that is winning and also creepy. Scientists have created a healthier butter-like spread that's made of 80% water. And I got this from New Atlas, or Gizmodo, actually. Love that. So even though people love butter, it's not the healthiest thing in the world, right? Because it's kind of oil-based and that sort of thing. So food scientists at Cornell University have come up with could be the ultimate butter substitute, which is made primarily from water. And that's pretty amazing. They call it an ultra-stable water in oil thing. What do they call it? High internal phase emulsions. I can't even. I'm reading the scientific report now, and it has a lot of words that shouldn't come out ever. A tablespoon of butter is made up of 84% fat and 16% water, measures in at 11 grams of fat and almost 100 calories. But this new artificial spread is 80% water, has 2.8 grams of fat. Well, that's a lot less, and only 25.2 calories. They say it looks and feels like softened butter, and it could be further enhanced with vitamins, milk, or plant-based proteins, so it tastes like butter while being highly nutritional. Yeah, I'm in. Whatever, I mean, butter's kind of bad for you, and if they could make it from water and it's not too freaky, then yeah, I say why not? Why not, man? Finally, let's talk about Facebook for a second. So Facebook unveiled some new tools to control how websites are sharing your data for ad targeting. Obviously, in the wake of the Cambridge Analytica scandal and what came out about Facebook and how they're selling the data to different advertisers and that kind of thing, quite a black eye for the company. And then they paid $5 billion to the FTC a couple of weeks ago for, privacy violations, basically. Now they have launched a new tool, which basically a user can bring up a list of everyone that's sending data to Facebook. Then you can tap on a specific app or website to learn what data is being shared. If you decide you don't like whatever data is being shared for you, you can block it across the board, that kind of thing. So they've got a tool that can do this. Facebook's trying to get in front of what's coming in California. The California Data Privacy Initiative goes into effect in January 2020. And it is the latest version that I have read is pretty strong in terms of going after companies like Facebook and Google and folks that have been in the wild, wild west of data sharing for a long time. And it basically is like it's like a new marshal in town that shows up and says, "Y'all can't be sharing that data no more. If you do, I'm gonna run you out of town on a rail." I mean, this new data, this new initiative is very much like that, showing up in the wild, wild west and saying, "We're gonna bring some laws to this land, you morons, and we're gonna fix it." So. And I think that's probably a good thing, to be honest. I think that Facebook is probably winning because they're trying to get in front of it. They send out kind of BS and say, we at Facebook want people to know this is happening so that we're not hiding the options deep web menu, which they have done before, and people have testified to that fact, by the way, but making this accessible from the main settings page. So this is going to be like a comprehensive dashboard for letting users control your data. Again, they're trying to get in front of what's coming in January. The California Data Privacy Initiative, where individual people like you will be able to sue Facebook if you find that they're using your data in improper ways. So they're trying to get in front of that. And you guys are so smart because you are still listening to May the Best Brand Win on Entertalk Media. Come on back. I'm going to give you some tips for using your human intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. See you in a few.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Entertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Peabody-Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Peabody-Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull-Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull-Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on EntertalkRadio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. You are tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Entertalk Media, the undisputed leader in music biz talk, and I am Scott, your host, and a man who just knocked through winning and losing there with Paul listening. We were just talking on the break about a couple of them. Paul, what are you liking from winning and losing this week?
Oh man, I got like goosebumps when you told me that like regular people can start suing Facebook personally.
I know, right?
I was like, oh, please. Just...
Do you know Facebook has another feature? I don't know if you know this or not. A lot of people don't know this. There's a feature called Nearby Friends in Facebook, and it's automatically set to on. Are you ready for something creepy that you don't know your Facebook's doing? Go to Nearby Friends. Turn your location settings to always share just for a second, and make sure you turn it off after you do that. And then look at how much data it's sharing about your friends and how they don't know it's being shared. I can tell you, I can geolocate everybody in my friends network at a level that it's information that you shouldn't, that I shouldn't have, and I can definitely clearly see that I shouldn't have it. But I don't think that most people know that setting is active all the time.
Yeah, so you could basically see where people are. Like,
exactly where they are.
You weren't at the movies. You told me you were at the movies.
Exactly. It shows exactly where you are. It shows the city that you're in, and then you can geolocate that stuff way down too. I was like, oh my God. I was shaking my head. I was like, I shouldn't know this.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels wrong, right?
I mean, maybe if you're a freak and you're into that stuff, make that as an option you could turn on. But yeah, setting that by default on and then hiding it where no one's Facebook. The UI is like the most hideous, unwieldy thing in the world on purpose.
On purpose. There was a guy that testified during the Cambridge Analytica scandal, and they said that they specifically designed a UI that would be difficult for people to find ways to turn off these privacy settings.
Yeah, I can't deal with it. I'm a grown-ass man in technology where I deal with all sorts of applications, complex programs. Like I have to go menu diving into a lot of different things, and Facebook just makes zero sense to me. I can't make heads or tails of it.
Like I said, open up the app, go to Nearby Friends, click on your location settings, and turn them to where always share because it won't let you see unless you do that.
Oh,
right,
Scott, this shows that you're right behind me.
Yes, exactly. Look at it. That's right. The call's coming from inside the house.
This show is coming from inside the studio.
I'm in the studio today. All right. Let's give you guys some tips. Get the hell out of here. So, we're talking about artificial intelligence. I'm not a fan of artificial intelligence in marketing. If you're a fan, good luck with it. I hope it works out for you. But I know about 10 realistic, plausible scenarios where it's going to blow up in your face like a neutron freaking bomb. Okay. And if you want to light the fuse yourself, good luck to you. But I'm really smart at marketing, and so I'm not going to do it. And I'll be the one that doesn't have the bomb going off, by the way. So we're clear. So here's some tips for using your intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. Now, I'm a big fan of using intelligence in marketing. I just don't think that you should turn it over to a machine. Here's one way you can use your intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. Tell a story to them, your audience, about how awesome they are. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Tell a story to them, audience, about them, audience, and how awesome they are. Machines cannot do this. Okay? And until they learn the subtleties of the human experience and a great deal of human psychology, they will not be able to do it. Storytelling is how we learn as people. There's a show on the air, American Ninja Warrior, right? And basically it's a bunch of athletes, a lot of rock climbers, those kind of athletes that, popular show on NBC. And they navigate these extraordinarily difficult obstacle courses, right? But the storytelling that NBC is able to do around these athletes and some of the obstacles that they've overcome and, conditions that they have and things that they've been able to do will bring you to tears. They will absolutely, they do such a powerful and impressive job of storytelling in a show that is essentially about a bunch of people running up and down an obstacle course. You feel real things about these people and it draws you in. There is no computer on this planet or probably any other planet, although who's to say? But let's just say this planet that can do that. That understands storytelling. There is something about us that is unique to us. Okay, we're human beings are unique animals. You don't see packs of bears out there telling stories in the woods. You don't see it, right? The bears run on instinct. Their psychology is different than ours. They have a different set of kind of commands that are hardwired into the system when they are born and go through. But human beings have the ability to do this storytelling thing. And the storytelling thing can create a very powerful link and connection, right? The power of branding exists within motion like this, right? Computers can't do that. Computers will never, ever be able to do that. They will not be able to do that, I predict. It's far too complex. Human beings don't even completely understand it, so there's no way in hell a computer is going to ever be able to do it. My number 2 tip for using your or really any intelligence instead of our artificial intelligence, when in doubt, send less stuff out. Okay? The world has too much marketing. Bed Bath & Beyond, I am talking to you. Okay? Stop sending me an email every day. I do not need that many towels. I don't. I take a shower only once a day and I have a big stack of towels. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. There's too much marketing in the world because it's perceived to be free, and there's this mindset that if one email is great, then 10,000 emails must be better. This isn't true. It's time to wake up from this. It's time to understand and use the big E word, use the big human empathy word, and say, if you don't want to receive an email a day, do they? If you don't want to receive 10,000, text messages and communications from a company, do they? Remember, this thing that we do is a very simple model. One circle for sender, one circle for receiver, with a message that goes between them and a feedback loop that goes up so you can improve the message and sort of keep the communication going. That communication model is in tremendous jeopardy today because we have a giant array of idiots doing digital marketing that don't freaking understand that nobody wants to receive all of this garbage on a regular basis. Okay? And I'm talking to you digital marketers. Pick up a freaking textbook in marketing and read it. Okay? Just because you know how to do Facebook ads does not make you a marketing person. It makes you a techno geek with no actual freaking marketing skills. Okay? Figure it out. This is a marketing person talking directly to you. What you say you do and what I do for a living are not the same thing. I focus on the model. I focus on getting a message to the receiver and building a relationship that's going to benefit the company. What digital marketers do is hit you over the head with the same message until you either shut them off, you completely go insane, or you kill yourself at your computer. Okay? That sucks. That whole approach sucks. Using the data that you have, that approach sucks. All of that sucks. Okay? Don't do any of that. Okay? If you're listening to me right now, Don't do any of that stuff. When in doubt, send less stuff out, okay? Nobody's ever going to fault you for sending less marketing out. Make them miss you a little bit. I play in a band, and we used to play at this one bar every single month. Every single month we would play like on a Friday, right? And then our crowd started dwindling a little bit, and we said, you know what? Let's take a couple of months off and not play this club, right? And then it was fine. We played other places, other regions of Orange County or whatever. It's just a cover band. Don't overthink it, And then we showed up and played this club again, and it was packed with all of our people. When in doubt, do less. Do less and do less better. Okay? Do less better. Always a good rule. Great rule in what we do for a living. And computers will never be able to figure that out. They're just going to bludgeon people, and the government's going to come and shut all that down anyway. So we're clear. That's what's going to happen. So again, another tip for using your intelligence instead of artificial intelligence: do not ever spy on your customers. Ever. It is creepy. It is wrong. Stop it. If you do not have specific consent in writing to communicate with someone, assume that you cannot, should not do it because you can't. Okay? I have always been on this side of the fence. I do not understand people in the marketing profession that think it is okay to take data which you haven't asked, you haven't received consent for people to use the data in this way and try to use it to sell them stuff. That is one of the most dangerous tightrope walking things I've ever heard of in your life. Do you know how fragile a customer relationship is? How long it takes to build one, how long it takes to cultivate one, and you're going to blow it just because you want to sell them, you want to sell them another towel? If you guys haven't picked up by now, I'm never going in Bed Bath & Beyond again. I'm never going in them again. I unsubscribed to their list with a note back to them saying, what the hell is the matter with you? Things like that. Don't ever, 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 ever spy on your customers. It is not right. It is unethical. It is not the right thing to do, and it is creepy, and it is a relationship killer. Absolute killer. Don't use artificial intelligence to do it. Don't take your big data and your bullshit programmatic advertising, behavioral analytics. Take all of that and shove it. None of that stuff is going to create a relationship between you and your customer. Even if you happen to sell somebody, it's so dangerous. It's so bad. Don't do that stuff. My number 4 tip on, using your intelligence instead of artificial intelligence: invest your time in learning human psychology. If I see one thing that is broken in every single campaign that I look at, it's the fact that people rushed to get the damn message out, and they didn't spend enough time to figure out who they were talking to, what they wanted, and they didn't do any of the E word. They didn't do any of the empathy thing. They didn't think about that person at all, really, or they created some bullshit marketing persona or some crap. Instead of focusing on human psychology, what do people want? Now, what do they really want? Now, what do they really want beyond that? Where can we intersect that? Is there a place when what we do intersects what they want, right? It's really, really, really important to what we do here. I've learned in my 30 years of marketing that marketing cannot get people to do things that they don't already want to do themselves. So your best shot in our profession, kids, is to figure out what they want and try to intersect what you do with what they want. Because if you're one of these marketers that thinks you could introduce a brand new idea in somebody and they're going to do something they don't want, you are dreaming. You are in a fantasy world that does not exist. Human beings don't operate that way. We have a set of rules that govern our psychology. It is extraordinarily complex, human behavior is. To think that you can, predict it, and to think that you can, God, I can't even be in the room with people that think like that. It's so stupid and short-sighted, Invest your time in learning how people think. in learning how people think, in learning how the human mind works. It is one of the most important things that we do in marketing, and it is one of the things that is never done in marketing, right? Focus on it. Read every study that comes out about the human brain that you can. Understand how it works, why it works, what are the differences in people, those kind of things. And then try to align your message and what you're doing with what your audience wants. You're able to create that kind of perfect fit, and then you've got a brand that you can really build on, and then you're doing communication sort of in the right way with the right foundation. Really, really important. And my fifth tip for using your intelligence instead of artificial intelligence is listening. Sounds simple, but, my mom used to say we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? Listening is very, very important. It's very important interpersonally. I had a lunch meeting with somebody this week, and you ever have one of those people where you introduce a new topic in the conversation and they interrupt you and tell a story over yours that you were getting ready to tell about that topic? It's annoying. And how do you feel about that person when they just talked over you? You don't like them. You're looking for the check. You're like, well, whatever business was going to be happening at this meeting is probably not going to happen, because I'm not going to have a conversation with somebody where I introduce a new conversation topic and they cut me off and tell a story about them and that topic. It's like, it's really odd. And when it happens multiple times, it really kind of, it frustrates you and it kind of makes you angry, But if you look at marketing, you're out there trying to say, yeah, I've got some, I certainly have some, some needs out there and those kind of things. And then, but the marketing world is saying, well, what about this? And what about this? And hey, Bed Bath & Beyond, we have a 20% off today. And what if you needed another towel and this kind of thing or whatever? Listen to me. Listen to listen, when I'm ready to talk to you. You have to earn that trust too. It's like I don't mean listen to me like spy on me, right? Let's not go crazy. Some people think of that. AI is not going to really be able to listen to people, and let's hope they can't. Let's hope AI can't, because I still think there's a lot of danger in AI, because people are exactly stupid enough to create something they can't control that ends up being a real problem for all of us. What have we learned, folks? We know that AI is coming, and we know that marketing will use it, and they'll probably use it very poorly, which is going to result in more regulations and government intervention in what we do. But in the end, I think all of that might be worth it if we finally start doing what we should do instead of just what we can do with technology. And that's it for me, folks. We're going to see you after Labor Day with a brand new show. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Entertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Peabody-Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Peabody-Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al DiMeola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?